Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well today. As you can see, I have a banjo next to me. Okay, this is up for review today, and this is special because this is a Harley Benton 35Pro Banjo. This is what I would call a inexpensive beginner model banjo. Okay, plays just fine. And to me, in my opinion, it rivals the Gold Tone AC1. Now, I haven't played an AC1, but I have, they have very similar specs, okay? So, and the cool thing about this is, this banjo, came all the way from Germany, and it was a total of 143 bucks, okay? You cannot beat that for a beginner level banjo. And I wanted to do this because, you know, for the longest time I was telling everybody about the CCOT. And I still like the CCOT. I still have mine. But it's $500. And I really wanted to find something that, you know, could be playable, that is a little cheaper, you know, for those who don't know for sure if that's what they want to do. Now, I will say that this banjo, I had to do just a touch to set it up. The head needed tightening. Now, it came with a wrench to do that. And tightening your head is not hard. It's a very simple process, and it just takes a few minutes and a little bit of patience to do. I have videos on it, and I can walk you through the steps if you need to do that. Each banjo is going to come a little bit differently. I suspect that the head was loosened to make this long journey, okay, through a lot of different weather, all the way from Germany to here. So, anyway, that little thing is all I did. The action height is amazing on this thing. There's no fret sprouting or anything like that. I mean, my just to give you an example, my $2,000 banjo. Am I comparing this to that? No. But I am going to say that my $2,000 banjo had to be shipped back to them twice to get things remedied, things that were incorrect, okay? So, a little bit of perspective here. I'm not shipping this back. This is ready to go. And more on that later. But let me run through the specs real quick, and then we'll play it, all right? As usual, I'm using my standard lapel mic that I use on every video, okay? This is the 35 Pro. It's an open back banjo. It has a mahogany rim. It's got a NATO neck. The fretboard is black wood. It's got dot inlays, 22 frets. The scale length is 670 millimeters. I'll have to put that below. The nut width is 32 millimeters. Okay. It's got a Remo frosted head on it. It's got 18 tension hooks, a graphite nut. The bridge is maple and black wood, and it's a 5/8 inch bridge, and it's got a high gloss neck. Again, this thing to my door, 143 bucks. I mean, oh, and I ordered it on January 31st, and it got to my door February 2nd. So that's pretty impressive. But I'll give you some close-up shots of it, and then I'll make sure it's in tune, and then we'll play this bad boy. I haven't done anything, I haven't oiled the frets or anything like that. All I did, as I said, was I just tightened the head, you know, and placed the bridge, which is standard. You'd have to do that on anything. Yeah, okay. The neck was straight also. Let me just make sure it's in tune. So far it has stayed in tune. And it's got the geared tuners. Now I will say this. This neck is glossy. It's very glossy. And like the Gold Tone, it has a very, very narrow nut width. So if you have beefy fingers, this is not the banjo for you. Neither is the Gold Tone AC1, neither is the CCOT. You want a beefier neck if you have some anything going on with your fingers. Okay, so let's play this a little bit so you can hear what it sounds like. And then I'll give you my thoughts on it. One thing to note is, and this is a cheap banjo, but it doesn't have an armrest. So an armrest is a nice thing. It keeps your forearm out of these hooks. But there's lots of banjos that don't have armrests, so. It plays just fine, sounds just fine. As far as tightening the head is concerned, that's a very subjective thing. Is, you know, people like their heads at different tension levels. So this is just a feel thing. I played it right out of the box and it was okay, but I wanted it tighter. Just my personal preference. I will say one thing. I like how it plays. I'm familiar with that narrow neck because I've had that gold tone for so long. But one thing to me that is a drawback is the high gloss neck. For me, that slows me down actually. And that, again, that's a preference thing. Some people like a high gloss. Some people like it more matte. For me, I don't know what the AC1 has. Maybe somebody in the comments can tell me. But the neck is straight on this. It's got the dots up here. It even has some places for you to put your strap. Plays just fine. Anybody who buys a banjo should not be afraid to do these little adjustments like tightening that head some, placing the bridge, things like that. So I would recommend this for people who are not sure. I really would. It beats the price of that AC1, and I believe that it probably stands up to it as far as how it sounds also. And this sounds fine. So this is the Harley Benton 35 Pro. Now, I'm going to have a link down below if you want to go take a look at it. They also sell the AC1 there, as well as other open backs at different levels. And again, I would recommend this to somebody who is not sure. You don't want to sink a lot of money into it. As long as you're not afraid to do these little adjustments, or take it into a shop and for probably about 30 bucks they'll set it up for you, but really you can do it yourself. As long as you just don't take one of these hooks and just crank it one hook. That's not how you tighten a head. You carefully, you crank it a quarter turn here, a quarter turn here. So you basically just follow your little pattern here, opposites, like that, all the way around, and you just quarter turn it. Then you get up here and you feel it. You feel it for your tension, and you just keep doing it till you get to your desired tension. Now, I always loosen my strings just a touch when I'm going to tighten the head, because what that does is it'll raise that bridge up. You know, the bridge will be sunken down the looser it is. So if you tighten that, it raises that bridge up. So I just loosen my strings a little bit. And of course, these are the cheap strings that they put on every brand new instrument you get, really. But they're not terrible. They did not make my fingers black, which, hey, my $2,000 banjo with signature Pisca strings on it, they turn my fingers black. Every time you use a set of their strings, black. And I don't like that. Me personally. But for anybody looking, you know, to get into the banjo, not really sure what they want to do, or if you have a kid that wants to get into it, this is not a bad deal. And the action on this thing is really nice. I'm impressed. I'm impressed by this. I'll be interested to see how it sounds through this little mic. And I know it's not loud, but, you know, do we need a really, really loud banjo? Maybe not. And I don't think you can go wrong for under 150 bucks. Really. Say I assume it has a truss rod under here that you can adjust. I've not removed that plate. However, I did get 2 wrenches. So that leads me to believe there's a truss rod in this neck that can be adjusted. I think this rivals the AC one, and it's cheaper. So if you don't have a banjo, you may want to consider this. And that leads me to my next thing. Now, I may make a separate video out of this. I probably will. And before I go, I always want to remind you that Jesus loves you. Bye-bye.